The day after we arrive in country, there's no time for relaxation. It's time to work. After all, you went to war. So immediately, platoons start getting divided up into their perspective segments. You got first platoon, second platoon, fourth platoon, and you will learn your rotation of where you're supposed to go do these ride alongs out in these areas called mahalas. And they're basically sectioned off with these big giant Texas barriers that are like 20-foot tall. You learn the routes, you get a map, you learn the dangerous areas, the intersections where bombs could go off and possibly target your vehicles. You learn the different types of sectarian violence that's going on locally. You learn that the Sunni versus Shia tribes basically hate each other because they don't believe the same thing, and that you're going to be put right in the middle of this presence of this hatred. So immediately you start setting up your times on which you're about to patrol. And, it may be 0600 hours that you go out, and you could be gone for 10 hours. And there may be an overlapping in between where another platoon goes maybe at 1200 hours. And there's always somebody on patrol. There's always somebody going in these different areas, and there's always something going on. But in the meantime, the people that are left behind waiting for their patrol, they're either working out, eating, sleeping, or getting to know the people that are leaving, that you're relieving of their duty while you're there. So we met some interesting characters while they were there. I met this guy, we called him Bird, and he was on crutches, and I asked him what happened to him, and he said he got into a small accident where his truck got hit by a small bomb, and instead of it, severely damaging him, he ended up breaking one of his legs. So they had him in a cast, and he was on crutches, and he said, but it's never been better. He said, my life has been great. I'm collecting war money. I'm collecting separation pay. I'm back here on the fob while everybody else goes out and does the work. He said, it sucks that I'm not out with my boys, but I've learned the different secrets of being here on the base. And FOB basically stands for Forward Operating Base. While he was on this base, he got to learn that you could get different things serviced to you if you had a little bit of extra money. On our base, we had these little shopping centers that you could go to that were basically run by the Hajis, the local Iraqis. And they had like little tents set up or little buildings set up that you can go inside and you could buy bootleg movies. Some of the movies were out a month or two before they even came out here in the United States. Now, the first versions of the copies would be the worst, so you'd want a week or two before you would actually buy one, and they were $1 a copy. And then you could buy video games and stuff that were already preloaded on game systems there, but they were only good for like 220 volt outlets. Specialized outlets they have in other countries that we don't have set up here. So you could buy an Xbox for $250 that had like 100 or 200 games already downloaded on it, bootleg. But there were some other services that you could acquire as well. If you went to the local little Haji barbershop, there was a little room in the back with a massage table. If you held an extra $20 in your hand, he knew exactly what that meant. He would have one of his daughters meet you in the back for a massage. And whether or not that $20 turned into $40 was up to you. And he said, man, I don't know how many times I've been back there, and it's just a relief for me to be able to get some kind of female contact. And that $20 that you hold in your hand pays for a lot. And I'll just leave it there. Yes, you are imagining exactly what I'm saying. Services are provided. And I was always so scared to even do anything like that. I was always scared that I would catch some kind of disease or something would happen to me in that aspect. But the barbers over there, when they cut hair, they cut hair. They're like 10 times better than anything that I've seen here in the United States. So learning the patterns of the way fob life was supposed to go, learning how the different Hajis would try to haggle with you and stuff like that. You could buy packs of cigarettes for 25 cents a pack, 50 cents a pack for name brand like Marlboro, Cools, things like that. You can get the same cigarettes over there. They may be a couple weeks old, but you could get them. Or you could buy the Iraqi brand cigarettes called Pine. You can get those for 25 cents a pack. Everybody in the evening time that had spent any time in Iraq at all would usually be around a hookah somewhere in their downtime, telling stories or talking or just trying to relax while they're smoking their berry hookah or their melon style hookahs. And it was a big thing for the Iraqis to have that kind of camaraderie even with the soldiers. So you got to a point where things would start to become normal over time. And I learned the ins and outs of the base. And slowly, as time would pass, we would actually get some more amenities added to the base. Actually, eventually, here further along in my story, you'll see that we end up getting a Subway. Now, is it the same style meat that we get over here? No, it's not the same style meat. We ended up getting a little Pizza Hut attached to this little travel trailer where they could make little pizzas and stuff inside. Is it the same as it is over here? Absolutely not. It tastes completely different. Inside our PX, you could get hygiene items. You can get, toiletries and things like that. You could get some clothes if you needed it. And it was not a bad gig. Our cafeteria or our DFAC was something I never seen before. The food in this little cafeteria or this DFAC was better than the food we ate here in the United States. They had like a taco bar. There was like a little cake and salad bar. And then there was another bar where you could go down this long, like 30-foot line of different types of food. Some nights there would be steak and lobster. Even though that was a rarity, it would happen every couple weeks. You would have your potatoes and broccoli and sausages and, Salisbury steak and stuff like that. It wasn't like we went without. You had laundry facilities where you could take your laundry and tag a bag with your name and stuff on it, and you could drop your laundry off at the laundry facility and come back the next day, and it would be cleaned and literally in that bag waiting for you so you could take it back to your barracks and you had clean clothes. That was a facility that they would do this. It was a service that was provided. There was a gym that had actually really nice weights, squat racks, flat benches, big dumbbell presses. Big dumbbell presses, big dumbbells. And they actually had like treadmills and things like that. So the fob life wasn't necessarily all that bad. I did notice the ground was really tore up. There's holes all over in the ground. It was pitted. There was powdery substance all over the place where the air is real dry over there and it really breaks up all the soil and stuff. It was not a bad life, but that all quickly changed. As you learn to live that life, it could surely be taken away just as much as you learn to live that pretty decent life. And I will continue tomorrow.